We need to restore humanity because this is not okay. We learned in elementary school about the Holocaust, and it seems to me we were all very appalled by it in my classes, and it's happening again right now, and we can make a difference so that we're not written about in history groups after eliminating a whole population of people. So please help, please make a difference. It all matters.
I regret voting for Trump. You guys told me I would, and here we are, just barely over a month after he was sworn in, and I have so many reasons, so many disappointments, and I've lost so many rights as a woman already. So I guess I'll just start.
You know, I voted for Donald Trump, and now I regret it, because now since Elon Musk took over, I lost my job. It's last night in the hotel. I was ahead of the broken pencil department, and I just got word that it's pointless.
Hello brothers and sisters, I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you're watching me from now. White MAGA supporters and white farmers, together with conservative Latinos, are now crying out to each other that they could have listened to the advice the black community was giving them not to vote for MAGA. Now, this is happening in a very critical moment when they are going through harsh economic times, when Donald Trump is increasing tariffs on countries that are actually retaliating back and affecting the lives of those who voted for him and those who didn't vote for him as well. So let's watch this video, then have a really quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to try to hold this together. Just in light of our current climate and what's going on with ICE and the mass deportations, I thought it might be really beneficial to share with you your rights if ICE approaches you. So whether you're an immigrant or you're just a brown person who was born in this country, if ICE comes to your home and knocks on your front door, you do not have to answer the door unless they have a judicial warrant. You do not have to answer, so just don't open the door and don't go outside. Next, if they ask for any documentation from you, your immigration status, your ID, your birth certificate, you do not have to give them anything. You don't even have to speak to them. If they ask you questions about your immigration status or where you were born, you can say that you're just not going to talk. You do not have to talk to them. You do not have to answer the door, and you do not have to give them any documentation. I'm so sorry this is happening. I apologize for the emotions. I live in Oceanside, California, and ICE came to Oceanside this morning and started taking parents as they were dropping their children off to elementary school. I just don't understand how anyone can think this is okay or that this is better for our country. This is not to get rid of criminals. That is not the MO here. These people are our neighbors. These people are the man who works in my apartment complex who gives the little kids candy. These people sell me my coffee in the morning. They make the best concha. There's an old lady who was born in Mexico who always throws in an extra concha for me every time I go. These people are our friends in our community, and for a lot of us in Southern California, they're very intertwined in our culture and our everyday life. I love the Hispanic culture in Oceanside. We have lowriders, we have the best food, we have the best music, and that's all due to the Hispanic influence in my town. So the fact that we want to get rid of these people is something I'll never understand. I will wrap this up if you've even made it this far through my crying and snotting. Good on ya. But I want to share what us white people can do at this time. So definitely record. If you see ICE raids going on, you're allowed to pull out your phone and take a video of the horrible treatment and what's going on. So definitely do that. I know money's tight for a lot of us right now, but you can donate. Anything helps. There's a couple great organizations, one being RACES. I think it stands for Refugee and Immigrant Education and Legal Services. Donate to organizations like that. Use your voice. You can call your local representatives. We're very lucky here in California. California, our representatives, Gavin Newsom, is riding for us. You can also protest, use your voice that way. There's a protest going on in Oceanside this Friday. So if you want to show up and protest and make a great sign, that's awesome. Lastly, I would just say help locally. A lot of families who are affected by ICE raids lose things overnight. You can help with rides. You can help with childcare. There's a lot we can do. I think we're all in this together. I think what makes America so beautiful is how diverse we are, and that we don't all look the same, and we don't all act the same, and we don't all believe these same things. But I think bottom line is these are human beings, and
I regret my vote. I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump. And now, in the first few weeks of his presidency, thousands of people are losing their jobs. I lost my job. I was the director of operations of bear studies. For the last 4 years, we've been studying whether or not bears in fact shit in the woods. And now it's gone. It's all gone. What am I supposed to tell my family? What am I supposed to tell them? If you voted for Trump, I don't even know what to say except fuck you. All the money being taken, and all the jobs being lost. I don't know what to do.
Y'all, I don't know if you've seen it, but I watched an interview with the Republicans. It was about 6 or 7 Republicans, and they was huddling around saying they regret putting Trump in office. They said that they will vote Democrat going forward. They will never vote another Republican because of how he's doing the country. Nobody is standing up to this man. They just letting him do what he wants. And the people are pissed on both sides, Democrat and Republican. But that's who y'all voted for. That's who y'all wanted in office. Y'all didn't want a strong black woman to run the country. Y'all wanted a clown to run the country, so y'all got a clown. But now y'all huddling around, Republicans and Democrats, y'all huddling around and saying y'all will never vote for another Republican because he shows you why not to vote for a Republican. He shows you how ignorant Republicans can be. So yes, now you see what we were saying when we said don't put a clown in office. He was in there the first time. The man didn't even show up to hand the presidency to the next person, to wish the next person well. He didn't even show up, but y'all gave him another chance in office. So now this is the results. He's running the country in the ground, and the Republicans are pissed. Democrats not just pissed, the Republicans are pissed. Voice your comments in the comment section. Like, repost, do it all. Because yes, I seen it, y'all. Y'all got to see it. They was talking and they said we will never, ever vote Republican again. The young man said, this is my first time voting and I regret it wholeheartedly. He just turned 18 or something. But he said this is his first time voting and he votes Democrat going forward because he see what a Republican.
More Trump voters are publicly regretting their vote for Donald Trump as he continues to back out of campaign promises and instead focuses on his billionaire friends. Now, first it was the Steelworkers Union out of Pennsylvania. Now firefighter unions in New York City are publicly speaking out as Donald Trump and Republicans failed to fund the 9/11 first responder healthcare program that is designed to help the first responders who are still suffering from being there on the ground during 9/11. Now, you can say that Donald Trump had nothing to do with that, but understand Republicans took that out of the funding bill under direction from President-elect Trump and Elon Musk. Now, so far, Donald Trump has only focused on delivering for his billionaire buddies and nonsense such as Greenland, Canada, Mexico, Panama, all this stuff that he didn't talk about. Not once have you heard him talk about lowering gas prices, lowering grocery prices, your energy bill, etc. All the things he promised during the campaign, he is backing out of because he only cares about one person, himself, and the people who paid to get him elected.
We have some big news right now. Donald Trump's tariffs on China are impacting farmers the most, and many of them have buyer's remorse for even voting for Donald Trump in the first place. One of the top products that is tariffed is the U.S. soybean, and U.S. soybean exports, according to CNN, are now subject to a total tariff of 135% because of the 10% tariff imposed in March, along with the 125% tariff announced last week. If you recall, back in 2018, the winner of the first U.S.-China trade war wasn't U.S. farmers, but rather Brazil, because Brazil became the world's leading soybean exporter. And since then, exports to China have grown 280%, while U.S. exports have remained flat. Many soybean farmers in the Midwest actually voted for Donald Trump. They come from states that are red states that voted for Donald Trump consistently, both in 2016 and in 2024. And Trump had long promised exemptions or support for farmers, but they haven't received any bailouts just yet. And some are now even having buyer's remorse because their businesses are going to suffer because they can't export the number of soybeans that they were before. As always, I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack, link to my bio, so subscribe for free and follow along for all the news.
So I saw this on Instagram, like just a couple minutes ago. I'm gonna get out the way. South Florida woman regrets voting for Trump after father arrested by ICE. So in the video, she talks about how living in South Florida has like changed her like her political viewpoints and how she sees things, and like how she's been brainwashed by like Republican propaganda. I just want to say I lived in South Florida for 21 years. I've been here my whole life, have not moved. So I know all about the Republican brainwashing and the propaganda they tell people. Trust me. But it blows my mind sometimes when I hear other Hispanics down here, like some my friends, like when they tell me like, you know, I did not know Trump was going to do this and that. I'm like, how do you not know he's going to do this and that? He campaigned on deporting people. He's been campaigning on mass, deportation. How could you not know this was going to happen? He's been talking about this since 2015. Why are you voting for someone if you're not doing your research? This does not make any sense to me. I don't get why people like, okay, I'm glad you regret your vote now, but maybe you could have done your research a couple months or a couple months before voting. Then you would know Trump has been a bad person since 2015,
MAGAs regret voting for Trump. I don't give a fuck! You're a bunch of hateful, stupid idiots that deserve to lose your jobs and to deserve to be deported yourself.
I'm in 2 weeks. I'm done. You want to talk about regretting your vote?
I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump.
I voted for Trump, and I regret it now.
As a Hispanic, I voted for Donald J. Trump. Dude, I regret it so much, man.
I am regretting my vote for Donald Trump.
I voted for Donald Trump, and now I regret it.
A lot of people who were like me voted for Trump and have to account for that.
I regret voting for Trump.
So deeply regret my vote for Donald Trump.
I regret voting for Trump.
I was a dumbass, voted for Trump. It was the worst decision I ever made.
I've seen the light, and I got out of MAGA. A lot of us there have seen the light. We have deep regrets.
I feel guilty because I voted for Trump twice. I feel very guilty because I feel responsible. That's why he's still running.
I was with Trump for 9 straight years. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed.
So recently they did a focus group where they invited several Latinos. All these Latinos voted for Trump, and they stated that they regret their votes for Trump because of the economy and mass deportations, which was Trump. Trump was really transparent on these particular issues. He'd been running on border security for over half a decade. He'd been running on tariffs and who could use which bathroom and who could play in whose sports. So there's no possible way you could really have voters remorse when Trump was completely transparent. I just find it interesting that this study comes out after Trump took funding from this grant for Hispanics and redirected those funds to HBCUs. This is very telling, and they go on and say that if it was a do-over, they still wouldn't vote for Kamala. They'll vote for a third party or stay home. How man don't say it? Hi haters. Remember that song? Yeah. It's telling.
Another Latino Trump supporter regrets his vote after he's detained by ICE, man. Before I give you guys my take on this, I want to tell you what ICE done with this Trump shit, right? I don't vote. I don't get involved. I went viral making fun of Trump, and I went viral saying something that was pro-Trump, right? I'm in the middle, bro, making fun of both sides, man. When one side does something good, I'm like, yo, that's not a bad thing, right? But this video is about self-awareness and why it is so important for you to possess it, right? Because it's like, I'm an immigrant. You know, I'm Latino, right? When I heard Trump say that he's going to be deporting all the criminals, you know, while my brain interpreted is that it didn't matter whether you were committing crimes or not, because once you cross into this country legally, you are a criminal, right? Latinos heard, no, he's only going to be getting rid of the bad ones, the Venezuelans, you know, the people that are beating up cops, the people that are stealing, the people that are robbing people on mopeds. It's only the bad guys. What my brain also heard is like, yo, once these ICE agents are given the green light, bro, anybody that looks like they ain't going to come over here, man, could potentially be at risk of getting stopped. I had a viewer of mine from Chicago. She's Mexican and Japanese, right? She told me on one of my live streams that in Chicago, she got stopped, you know, at a grocery store, man, by some ICE agents talking about, you look like you don't got papers, you know? And she was like, what? And whatever, she showed their ID and they apologized. And I'm like, yo, you had a lawsuit right there. I'm pretty sure you could have done something there, man. I would not have let that go. I would have whipped out the phone, man, and I would have started recording. But anyway, man, self-awareness is a thing, people. Like, I understand that the Democrats, I mean, they went batshit crazy. They don't even know how many genders there were anymore, right? So I get why so many people say, yeah, we can't do that no more, right? But remember, once you come over here and decide, you have to understand what it is that you're opening the door to. You feel me? And a lot of Latinos, man, are like, damn, we messed up, right? There was that Cuban truck driver, right? They've been here 20 years, don't speak English. Trump said, if you can't speak English, you can't drive a truck. He came over, he was celebrating Trump's victory, bro. He came on the inner crying like, oh, this motherfucker, how you gonna do it? I've been here 20 years. Bro, you been here 20 years, man, and he was not old. He was like in his early 40s. That means that he came here when he was young enough to learn the language. But yeah, man, yeah, better be careful what you vote for. That's why I don't get involved, bro. Because I see you for what it is, man.
So I've been seeing this image on Twitter, you know, comments saying Trump will do this if he wins. Trump being like, if I do this thing, I'll win. He does the thing, and then the voters are surprised that he does the thing. And honestly, it reminds me a lot of Latinos for Trump. And I say that because one of my Hispanic friends, he voted for Trump, and he was telling me how he regrets voting for Trump because of the mass deportations.
And I'm like, he campaigned on it. And he's like, yeah, I didn't know he campaigned on it. I'm like,
this is like one of the things he's been talking about for so long, and it's all he ever talks about is illegal immigrants. It's like one of the only things he talks about nonstop. And he was like, yeah, I didn't know. And I'm like, what? Like, it baffles me how people like this, like, can vote. Like, do your fucking research on the dude you're voting for, maybe? And then you realize, oh shit, I actually don't like this guy.
Hey, is there anybody out there that voted for Trump that can admit they made a mistake? Shit, because I can. This ain't what I thought it was going to be at all. You know, like, it was my first time voting. I'm thinking I'm picking the lesser of the two evils. But I feel like I was wrong. Like, there were some things that Trump said that appealed to me, but I wasn't really looking at the bigger picture. You know, like, I wanted illegal immigration to stop, right? But I didn't think he was going to go to this extent where we got plainclothes officers pretty much kidnapping people in the street. Like, I just seen a video of ICE holding a kid hostage in order to get to the father. Like, that's not what I signed up for. To be honest, I don't want to be a Democrat or a Republican, because in my opinion, both parties are just two feathers off of the same bird. Like, the shit is all corrupt. Like, we should focus more on being decent human beings than being what our political affiliations are. Too many people out here living their life through politics, like that's their whole personality. And I ain't really rocking with that. But if you voted for Trump and you feel like it was a mistake, let me know.
All right, watch the amazing moment when a veteran tells friend of the show, Dean Withers, that he regrets his vote for Trump and he is now taking action to fix his wrongs.
What's going on, Mayhem? Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Why did you do that?
So I'm 39, North Carolina. I served in the military for 21 years so far. And I was over in Syria for the first election. We had handcuffs on us, so to speak, in terms of engagement criteria. And Trump's policy, when he did get elected the first time, I really liked. So with my background, I lean toward hopefully.
Wait, handcuffs on you where? I'm so sorry.
Syria. I was deployed.
You're deployed in Syria. Conditions?
No, I was. So I've been in the military for 20 years.
Okay.
When he was first running, we were over there under the previous administration. the guys were getting laid down because of those policies. When Trump came into office, the policies that he enacted started saving lives and also got the problem taken care of.
So
However,
we had less service members die from military conflict under Biden and Harris compared to Trump, and I'd say that there's a greater potency for more military conflict under Trump's second administration, with him entertaining ideas such as possibly invading Greenland, which would start a military conflict, a war between America and Europe, and like the whole ethnic cleansing of the Gaza Strip. I think what will ultimately happen is the Palestinians will fight back. Hamas will redirect their interests to any U.S. entities coming into the Gaza Strip to try to claim ownership, and we'll probably end up deploying our own troops.
right, I fully agree with you.
So
Actually,
I think more people are going to die under Trump's admin compared to who would have died under Kamala Harris's.
right. So I was talking about the first administration. I'm being medically retired now, but I think another important point to make is that I regret this vote based on him coming out and saying what he said about Gaza. I find it to be reprehensible. So what I've done as penance for this terrible vote and the bad position that our country is now in is started the Money Out of Politics movement that anybody can join. We are going to march on Washington on 27 July, and we are demanding with 2 million plus veterans that we get Congress to pass laws banning congressional stock trading.
Let me tell you, this is what democracy looks like. I mean, he regrets his vote. He acknowledged his mistake, and now he's using the democratic means available to him to try to rectify what he deems as his wrongs.
Well, hey, listen, hold on, hear me out.
Drop a like for learning from your mistakes.
We got 80% support on the Republican side, 86% support on the Democrat side. We've already had both Democrat and Republican senators agree to sit down and discuss this. Also, this is not a protest, it is a demand. If they don't overturn Citizens United following that, we've got an organization already organized and we've already drafted.
So Thomas MAGA1 here says that he proudly voted for Trump and will never regret it. Okay, a couple of things. One, Trump's not here. You can stop deep-throating his boot. Number two, it's 8 months into the presidency. A lot of stuff can happen in the next 3.5 years. Because here's the thing, I know clearly by your comment, you're enjoying watching Trump go after a bunch of marginalized groups. You're watching him send out the National Guard like you're watching WrestleMania. You're just there rooting for it. But here's the thing, hon. Fascism comes for us all. Right now, you may not be feeling the effects, but dictators do not care whether or not you voted for him. They don't care if you're wearing a red hat, if you've got signs on your lawn. You will eventually feel your freedom start to disappear. And clearly, you're the kind of person who will only care when things become unfair for you. Which they will, because that's what's happened throughout history. Even the most devoted brown shirts to the tiny mustache man got screwed over by him because dictators are gonna dictator. Y'all never pay attention to the fact that it doesn't stop at just the marginalized groups. It will come knocking at your front door. So even though you've clearly made Trump your entire personality, he doesn't like you. Fascists don't like their citizens. They use them. And look, if you like being used, I don't want to kink shame, but that should just be your own personal boudoir choice and not something that's inflicted on the entire country, because we sure didn't consent to that. Enjoy your eventual betrayal.
Alabama voted for Donald Trump and Elon Musk. They voted for Donald Trump and Elon Musk to go through the entire budget line by line, or I'm sorry, not line by line. They voted for them to take a sledgehammer to the budget and not give a shit who it hurt. And can I just say that Alabama, you have nobody but yourself to blame. See, while you were so worried about somebody else getting $1, you forgot that you were getting 100 of them. That's right. If you didn't know this, the American taxpayer was subsidizing the state of Alabama's energy grid. I didn't know this, but yeah, that's what we were doing because they're too poor to afford their own energy. So now that Donald Trump and Elon Musk have gotten rid of the grant that helped pay for their energy, all of the people in Alabama are getting a $100 surcharge added to their electricity bill. How's that for inflation? But hey, Alabama, you voted for this, and in all honesty, why should we have to pay your...
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from. Now, we've been seeing a rising number of the white community, which is very, very concerned with the fact that Donald Trump or the Republican government is not able to deport the black community for various reasons. Now, let it be remembered that the world structures, both politically economically, socially, have been controlled by the white community for a very long time. And this is whatever has brought about whatever is called white supremacy and the white privileges. Now, most of the people have grown in environments, I mean the white people, have grown in an environment which is very caring, which actually favors them the most more than any other race. For this case, they have for most times thought that privileges are also their rights. That in most cases, they have been bailed out whenever they go bankrupt in their farms, those farmers, that they have been given loans, they have been given grants to survive. While on the other hand, we have the black community which has suffered a lot in the hands of the oppressor. The same country that came up with Jim Crow laws, the same country that saw segregation take place and no one spoke at that moment, the same country that has made sure the black leaders who came out to defend the black rights or to defend the black community no longer existed. You know, how can you trust such a country with the people of the black descent? Now, the black community has been in the US, in Europe, in the diaspora for a very long time. This can be traced back during the slavery, the slave period. Now, during this time, maybe in the 16th century, most of the black people were taken from Africa and ferried to the Caribbean, to America, and to Europe. Now, 400 years later, most people still call them immigrants. Most people still do not believe these people are citizens of this country. Imagine having lived in a country. Your generations were born there. 4 generations were born and raised there. But someone else still is not convinced that you are a citizen of that country. That's how far this joke has gotten to. Most of the people who went to vote, they went to vote maybe to see some of the communities go down. They went to vote to punish the black community. They went to vote to punish other immigrants. And for this case, they had a lot of expectation with the Republican government that they are going to do whatever it takes to kick them out of US. Little did they know that it is almost impossible to deport the black community. Though some Asians, some Latinos have been deported, and let's not forget that most of the Latinos voted because they were thinking they were close to whiteness or they have the proximity to whiteness. So most of the time they voted against their own interests. They voted for them to be deported. You know, we've seen a bigger number of them being raided by the ICE team, and this is not sitting well because most of them have been alienated and separated from their families. Most of them have lost their jobs. Some of them can't go even out because they have fear that they are going to be deported by ICE raid. Many things are happening at the same time. But whatever concerns people the most is the fact that the black community has not been able to be deported. Like, they expected the black community to be deported at this juncture, that most of them will be somewhere suffering, or most of them will be working in the farms after the deportation of Latinos and those immigrants. Little did they know that that is not how God works. The God of blacks is doing it again. We've seen a lot happening, and most of the white community is actually complaining the reason why the black community is silent, and they're not coming out here to complain about tariffs. They are not going to protest on the streets about the high cost of living, and they are not even complaining about losing their jobs or something of that sort. Now, black community has seen it all. They have been in the US in an era where Jim Crow laws still were being practiced. They have been here when you all practice segregation and no one ever aired their voice to speak on behalf of the black community. And when they got a leader like Malcolm X, when they got a leader like Junior, all these leaders were taken down. And as a matter of fact, no one actually helped them to air out their problems out. They have had leaders, but when they always had someone who will talk on their behalf, they were silenced. Now, they remained without a national leader who could talk on their behalf. And Martin Luther King was one of those great leaders who had come out to agitate for the rights of the black community. But what happened to him? We all know. Now, the black community has seen it all. Police brutality. It must be remembered whatever was done to George Floyd back in 2020. That a person who was unalived when everyone was seeing, with a ruthless officer who did that. But up to date, people still cry for justice. The black community is crying for justice. They have never received reparations. They have never been loved. No one cares about them. So with time, they grow very strong and they adapt to these problems. So when I see most of the people talking about or complaining why the black community is still silent and is not talking about the high cost of living and all this, they must trace back where all this began. It began when the people that they are calling for unity right now, they couldn't come out to speak whenever things went wrong in the black community. We've had governments that have, as a matter of fact, oppressed the black community for a very long time. We've seen leaders being taken down. We've seen mass number of incarceration on the black community. We've seen police brutality. We've seen most of them being taken out of the ghettos and taken to court, jailed for nothing just because of being accused of drugs and all those sorts of things. It is very sad to see that state. Now, how do you expect these kind of people who have seen it all to be deported? And where is the government going to deport them to? These people have been here for 400 years. You took them from their countries when we had no countries in Africa yet. We had no boundaries in Africa. So where or what part of Africa are you taking them to? I wonder. The same Africa that they destroyed, the same Africa that they did so many other bad things to, the same Africa that they have separated and caused a lot of divisions by bringing borders. It's the same Africa that people are talking about them to be deported to. Hell no. These people have been here for a very long time and they will still be here. So it is you who still lives in disbelief now to wake up from the slumber and know that the black community is here to stay. It has been here. Most of the white communities that came from Spain, that came from other parts of the world, from Canada to stay in the US, did find the black community here. So you can't just really come and dismiss the fact that the black community has been here and they belong to the US. Most of the people don't believe it because the black community is doing exceedingly well. And most of the people maybe expected them to suffer, but that's not whatever is happening. And for this one reason, they're very much pissed off. They're very furious and confused at the same time because they know that one day, maybe, the black community might rise to be very great and rule them. They fear that the black community will want to retaliate everything bad that was done to them. And the fear they have today, maybe, you know, when you do something bad, you always think everyone else is bad, right? But when you do good things, you always won't live in fear because of another man coming or to retaliate or to do something bad to you. You always have the confidence to face your fears. You always have the confidence to talk about things that are very, very important in the human aspect and in life. This is why most of the people are afraid. Do you know why? Because they know they enslaved the black community for a very long time. They have never paid reparations. The black community took part in building the US, and the US has never appreciated for a single day that the black community helped them build their economy and their country. So when they see the black people excelling well, they are very afraid because they know things could go south and tables could turn and they won't like it. But that's not the black community. Very forgiving, and they won't mind being good to you. Thank you so much. Have a really nice time. Thank you.